Hello, and welcome to this episode of The Turn. This time around, we are going to explore the theme of self-exclusion. One of the hardest things for survivors of child sex abuse to handle and deal with and cope with and come to terms with is the fact of just how it makes you want to crawl under a rock. I can't think of a better way to say that, and that was completely improvised. But there's hope. There really is. And so I hope that this episode conveys that for you. So thank you so much for joining us, and I hope that you enjoy this episode and you find it meaningful, helpful, and encouraging.
That's a big question, and it is serious. The development was interrupted, and the relationship has to be repaired within the person. The relationship of the older adult who's grown up and found themselves in whatever position in life, and the CEO of a top company or next to homeless. The person has to build a relationship with that inner child again.
And I look at where I am now, and these interviews and the book and all of these kinds of things that I've done, and every time, I guarantee you, it's like a build up. You build up momentum, and you've got to do it, and you can do it. You're going to plow through it, and you're going to take control, because that's what it is. It's control. And then you achieve that, and then it's done, and it's like a deflation. And then it's back me alone again. Damn, I'm alone again. And then it's, what am I going to do to get control again? And what am I going to do to feel better? And that is something about the abuse.
Where that emotional disruption happened, that child, you need to go back and raise that child again. Raise the emotional and developmental part of that child within the human being again.
Right, I see that in my view, because you get captured and then you're not in control. And then for me, man, I'm going to lock that door, and that sucker's not going to come and get me. So I regain control again. And then I get strong and I go off, and then something happens and I reflect back.
To revisit that inner child again is important, to grab his hand and bring them up into the world and say, it's okay, you're safe. This is, we can do things together. And that whole jumping onto the stage and opening yourself up, people do that and then they feel a sense of remorse for doing that. Well, then they start to self-judge. Well, did I do that? Was I good? And, oh, I couldn't do that now. And then they go into self-berating behavior, take themselves away from more opportunities like that, and really self-isolate, as you said.
For me, it's not just about one trauma in terms of sexual abuse, because there are many things that happened in my life. And I can't say the sexual abuse is the only thing that affected my desire to achieve and then to cower down and hide.
But when we're always critical of ourselves, we wrap ourselves in a box and we sit in the corner. So there's no way I can be foolish here, because I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. So getting back to that whole safe place, doing something that's beneath your skill set, doing less than you're able to do, staying in that safe place for fear of, stepping out and doing something really great in the world.
To say that sexual abuse is the thing that controls me, I give it more power. So I don't want to do that. I take everything that happened to me up to this point, including that, because I don't minimize it either, and I say, how have I responded? And I reflect back.
So when we get into a place of non-judgment, especially ourselves, like we got to give ourselves a break sometimes. We're the worst critic on ourselves, and just open up and let go of judgment and to see what's really going up, a whole new awareness will open.
Thank you very much for joining us for this episode of The Turn, where we explored the theme of self-exclusion. Next week's theme is suffering and growth. And those are two phenomena that seem to be separate a lot of the time, but the interviews that we have in this one are very special because they point to the coexistence, the fact that suffering and growth can actually happen at the same time. So please come back and watch that episode. I hope you find that to be as meaningful to you as it is to me, and thank you very much.